This is Damon Tinnon, creator of the Get Your GED Now test preparation series. I want to thank you for your interest and watching this PowerPoint video called GED Fluency. If we, and by we I mean adult educators, were to honestly assess the first 6 months of the new GED test, I think we would all have to say it has been a true challenge. I have been personally challenged by my students and other adult education leaders to elevate my game. For me, this has meant placing more emphasis on building a relevant and effective online classroom for GED Prep and placing less emphasis on creating static product like books and DVDs. It has also meant renewing my focus on helping adult learners and students to become fluent in the new GED test as part of their overall test prep strategy. And that's what I want to spend the next few minutes of this video talking about. When you do a Google search for GED, you get 44,200,000 results, yet your average adult interested in preparing for and taking the GED test knows precious little about this test. One of the most important things we can do to prepare adult learners to pass the GED test is to help them become fluent in the GED test. Now, I need to make a distinction between knowing the basics about the test and fluency. Knowing the basic means that the learner or student knows about GED.com, how to sign up, that the test is only given on a computer unless you have an approved accommodation, or if your state offers an alternative test to the GED test, that the test is now 4 tests instead of 5, and that you need to score 150 on each individual test to pass, and that 170 is considered honors passing. When I say fluency, I am talking about the goals and purpose of the test, the language of the test, and the flow of the test. The goals and purpose get to the question of exactly what kind of test is the GED test? What does the GED mean to employers and colleges? Who is behind the test? It is important to be aware of the relationship between the American Council on Education, an educational publisher, Pearson VUE, and their joint creation, the GED testing service. If a learner or student is fluent in the test, then that learner knows the common language and the documents that are found on the test. Don't get this confused with committing this information to memory though. Instead, I'm talking about conceptual awareness, being aware that the science test will make use of formulas to assist you in calculating force, being aware that a civil war took place in the United States and the primary issue was over the slavery question in America, and that this may play out on the social studies test, being aware that there is a Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, and the main goal is to protect the rights of individuals against government power. Being aware that there are 3 branches of government, and each branch helps to balance the power of the other, and that there might be questions that draw on the student's or learner's awareness of this relationship between the 3 branches. It is so key that learners and students know that of the 4 choices offered in multiple choice questions and drop-down menu questions in general, that there will be 2 choices that are the most probable. In the case of the sample question below and its workout on the right, you can see that quite a bit of work gets done to get down to the number 1,350. If you look back to the choices, you will see that 1350 is a choice. But with closer review, you will notice that while 1350 is mathematically correct, it does not answer the question. The question asks specifically about Bill Miller's acreage, which is half of 1,350. So the correct answer is 675. This catches so many unsuspecting GED test takers who are doing the best they can to do the math correctly to even get to 1350. When they see a result of their own work listed as a choice, they are likely just to simply go for it and get it wrong and not understand why that result was wrong. The last piece of GED fluency is the flow of the test. By flow, I am talking about the clicking of the mouse, the use of an erasable whiteboard for math, the various question types, and the balance between text and image. If you would see the video below, as it plays, you will see the common flow that a test taker will use while going through the GED test. This video demonstrates one of the question types referred to as a hotspot question. The test taker here uses their mouse to answer the question by clicking on an image to identify a correct location on the image, which is going to be the correct answer. This is what fluency is about. It's about having an insider's view on the test. It's about the learner being prepared for what they will face, aware of the common mistakes and pitfalls, and practice in the use of the keyboard and mouse to complete the test. Helping adult learners to become fluent in the GED test is one of the best things that we can offer in our GED preparation programs. Try as we might, we cannot jam 4 years of high school into a 3-month window, meeting a few times each week. The new GED test features skills that will be new to many of our learners and students. This is especially true with algebra and the extended response. Some students or learners may have some algebra and some basic writing experience, but for the most part, we are not helping our learners and students to simply brush up on linear equations in the point-slope form. We are teaching these concepts from the bottom up. As I said at the beginning of this PowerPoint video, I have been challenged to step up my game as a GED educator by my students and other adult education leaders. On the 2002 version, I could roll out of bed and help most people prepare for and pass the test with a dry erase board and a marker. The new test is different. I believe I have risen to this new challenge by creating an online GED classroom that adult education programs and library literacy programs, jail programs, and other rehab programs and support agencies can all subscribe to. Each subscription comes with 20 logins for the students or learners that you serve. The classroom provides a base curriculum of 13 easy-to-follow lessons to prepare your learners and students to pass the GED test. These 13 lessons are supplemented with a video library of past classes and webinars and practice tests that I have taught. Most importantly, fresh content, which includes live classes, video lessons, and practice tests. These are uploaded to the classroom each week. Your learners and students also have the option of using their logins to join in and follow the live lessons weekly in real time. This way, learners can take advantage of real-time lessons with the ability to get their questions answered live and interact with other learners and students from around the country. Because this classroom is browser-based, there is no confusing software to download. The online classroom can be accessed from both Macs and PCs with internet access. It can even be accessed on iPhones and most Android mobile phones. The best part is that the subscription is a partnership. It supports your current efforts. You can use the logins and the content of the live classroom in the way that fits the needs of your program and your community the best. We work together. You can even upload documents, videos, and other media to the online classroom that you have found useful and want your students and learners to have access to via the online classroom. Some subscribers will use the online classroom to support their volunteer tutors and staff in working with learners and students. Some subscribers will use the online classroom as their GED class. Others will use the login to capture learners who cannot attend class times for attendance and reporting purposes. The decision is yours. Contact me for an online demonstration of how my online classroom can help your GED program to soar.